So I think it's far too precious to waste it being afraid. I think that sometimes the first step to realizing who you are and what you want to be, to achieving your dream, is really quite as simple as saying it out loud, believing that you are the dream. 9 years ago, I said it out loud. I said, I am a musician. It was a little bit different from saying I'm an alcoholic, which, don't worry, I'm not. You know, when I said I am a musician, everything changed. My life changed, and today I can say I am finally home. I didn't start out as a musician, even though I was learning when I was very young, but I started as a graphic designer, and it was a job I loved and I was doing well at. So when I finally decided to quit one day, everyone was really surprised, including myself. I had been studying music alongside my job, but the long hours of advertising didn't allow me to give it the kind of practice or the time that it deserved. So one day I thought, that's it. It's time to follow my dream, and I quit. Almost as soon as I quit to study music, the best thing happened. I lost my voice for a year. I got laryngitis, I got pharyngitis, I got nodules, you name it. But I didn't give up. I battled through it, and I eventually got my voice back, and I was able to start singing again. And just when I thought things were going really well, my mother was detected with cancer, 4th stage, lung cancer. Something I find really hard to deal with even now. And my life fell apart because she was my best friend, my backbone, and she was my soulmate. She is my music. A year of radiation, chemotherapy, and alternative medicine later, she did get better, but I couldn't sing. I lost my voice again because my heart was so heavy with sadness. And that's when theatre came into my life, and I decided to try and channel my emotions through theatre. And my experience with theatre taught me so much. It taught me one of the most important and valuable lessons in my life. It taught me that as long as there is truth in the moment, there will always be beauty. It taught me to stop worrying so much about failure and success and the pursuit of perfection, and instead to spend more time in the search of the truth, in the search of my truth, in the search of our truths. Even though, as I said, I was fortunate enough to start learning Indian classical music when I was a child, from teachers anyone would have given their right arms to learn from, I think it took me so long to come home to music, to truly start creating music, because I first wanted to have something to say, something that I needed to say, my story to tell. One of my teachers once told me, she said, to sing, you have to have lived. And though I didn't understand it then, I do now. I think I have lived a little. I've lived through the 1984 riots, where we were targeted, only because we belong to the Sikh religion. I have lived through the violence, the fear, the hatred, and the not understanding why we were made to feel different just because of a label of religion. I've lived through the Asian tsunami, where my husband and I were underwater, holding onto a tree trunk, and watching people around us get washed away. I have lived through the miracle of my father surviving an illness where every doctor had given up because every single organ had failed, and I know it was faith that got him through. I've lived through watching my mother battle cancer so bravely and so positively. And I have lived through the hardest of them all. I've lived through watching them both die within 2 years of each other, far too early. So I've lived through questioning God. And I've lived through questioning belief, questioning religion, and how it is supposed to unite, yet it divides us. I have lived through accepting, learning, and letting go, and finding through it all a different kind of God, a different kind of faith, a different belief in people, in God, but in finding God within people. And finally, I do have something to say. And it's called the Sufi Gospel Project.